is going down, Ellipsis Podcast Fam? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all, I am on this high that I cannot explain at all. I just came back from the Woman Evolve 2023 conference, and when I tell you I am hype like nobody's business, y'all. And I have so much that I need to do. There is so much that I need to study. There is so much that I need to dissect, process, and reflect on, that I am overloaded in such a good way that I don't even know where to start with these podcasts. I had a whole set list of this season of things and topics that I was going to talk about. Now God's going slish slash ham cut dice roll whatever. Those titles are either going out the window and or being added to. So you guys bear with me going forward, because I don't know what God's about to do. I don't know where he's about to take us, but we flying right now and it's on cruise control. But there's about to be some turbulence, because some of the stuff that he's talking about is eating me up too. And I'm the one talking about it. So bear with me. But I cannot wait to really share with you guys all the things that I did learn and all the things that God really, really showed up and showed out on. And so don't worry, I am not going to gatekeep. I am giving all of those notes and all of those different topics that were talked about. We gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get there. But give me some time to dissect it. And then we are gonna hop into it. But today, well, first of all, for everybody who is new to the podcast, welcome home, fam. Welcome to the Ellipsis Podcast Fam. My name is Deja Terry, and as always, we are diving into the juice, to the nuggets, to the core of some of the things that we deal with every day on a daily basis. This is just to learn how to deal with them, because I wish I had somebody to walk me through life, because man, well, that's a lie, because I did have people walk me through life, but y'all know what I mean. But anyway, y'all, let's dive in. Ooh, y'all. Okay, this one right here literally even has me running for the hills, okay? And I am telling you, control is so big. Control is something that myself and so many of us need. And it's crazy, because most of us have this relationship with God where we can trust him. He's done for us, continues to do for us, and will always be there for us. And we have faith that he's going to do what we ask. We have faith that he's going to even do it better than what we ask. And so when he's come through time and time and time again, when we have to give him control of the things that we have no control of, is when it becomes scary, and many of us don't like to relinquish it. So today, I need y'all to grab your snacks, grab your notebooks, kick off your shoes, grab those blankets and those glasses, because I'm gonna need y'all to focus today, because we are talking about relinquishing control of the joystick. And I cannot tell you the battles that I have had, y'all, with giving the things that I could not control to God and letting him have my joystick. I have fought and kicked so many times after God has told me no, or taken things away, or even told me go and yes. And it's been a struggle trying to relinquish control in different parts of my life. It doesn't always come in one form. Sometimes we have to have control in different parts of my life. Like for me, I have to have the control at work. I have to make sure that, my worth ethic is on point and that I'm getting the job done because I have pride in my worth ethic. That's a part of control for me. Another part could be like for you, maybe it's being able to have a routine. You don't like surprises. Maybe, it's having control of, how much time you spend out, how much time you spend at the gym, how much time, you spend with friends and with yourself, or the people that you allow into your space of your home. All these different types of control we need to have, and it comes in so many, different forms. And one of the big things that I have to hit the nail on is a lot of times the biggest dilemma that a lot of us have with control, especially myself, is when God reveals purpose to you. And when God reveals purpose to you, there comes a point where you have to decide whether you're going to run, stand your ground, freeze and stay still, or walk forward. And a lot of times, we'll be praying about, okay, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? Where am I supposed to go? Who am I supposed to meet? Who am I supposed to talk to? And then when he finally sits you down and gives you that blueprint, you look around frozen and stuck like, okay, God. And then when things start to happen, okay, wait, I didn't want this. Wait, freeze, stop. No, I'm not ready. But initially, technically, when you prayed for it and you said, God, give it to me, that was your yes. So what do you do when you say yes? What do you do? Because once you say yes, that is literally you relinquishing control. Is when you give your yes. Yes to your purpose. Yes to the pruning that God needs to do. Yes to, the removing of friends and family and relationships that no longer serve you, and adding to you things that you need to serve you. And a lot of times that may be a season of loneliness. A lot of times that may be a season of isolation, or a season of transition where you're moving states, countries, jobs, and we literally have to tell God, okay, God, I relinquish your control. This is what I want. When you pray that prayer of yes, that's what you're doing. One thing we have to remember is God is going to win every single time, y'all. And many of us can find out our purpose and what we're supposed to do, and we can run for years. We can run and run and run and go, okay, fine. I'll accept my purpose. I'll accept what I'm supposed to do. I'll accept what you're trying to tell me to do right now. But you know what? I'm going to cut up in the meantime. Why? Because I know this is coming, and I want to go ahead and do all that I can, mess up all that I can. So that way, by the time it's time for me to do my purpose, I got it all out my system. I'm going to stop you right now. And I'm going to tell you this. The longer that you take to jump into your yes and to relinquish control, like God is asking you to release control, the longer it will take for you to prepare. And there are moments that you will miss because you decided not to be immediately obedient. And so in this time of relinquishing control, in these new seasons of our lives, it is so important, the timing of trusting God and saying, okay, God, because he's patient and he's going to wait, and he's going to give you time to release and give him the control that he needs to move in your life. But when the timing of when God sees that your purpose, that the activity of your purpose is near for the things that you actually have to do quickly, there's not much time for him to wait on you to make a decision. So then he has to start moving things for you to where you're literally being pushed and out the door when you don't want to go out the door, and God is always going to get what he wants, regardless if you say yes or not. God will always find somebody else to take your place if you choose not to say yes and if you choose not to relinquish control to him. But at the same time, you're still going to get to the destination called yes, because he's going to push you in a position where you will see the fruit of other people's yeses and how their immediate obedience, where that took them, and the possibilities of where it can take you from where you are now in your purpose to where you could be. And that's going to thrust you forward into gaining that motivation to say yes. Because a lot of times we have to see it first. And if we don't see it immediately and we are jumping into murky, uncharted water to where we're relinquishing control, but all we know is who we're relinquishing it to, which is really that's the only thing that should matter. But when we can't see what we're jumping into, it's harder for us to relinquish that control and give that yes. So a lot of times God will bring other people into our lives to show us what that looks like, to show us what jumping into uncharted and murky water looks like on the other side, and then gives us another chance to come back around and say, okay, God, I give this to you. And y'all, it took me years. It took me, honestly, till right now at this very moment. Right now, to this very moment today, to say, okay, God, I'm tired of having control. I'm tired of feeling like I have control. Because mind you, we really don't have control. He just allows us to think that we have control, but we really don't. So, relinquishing control, y'all, it gets draining. Trying to hold on to things that are no longer yours, trying to make moves to ensure that you have the things that you desire. I don't care how many things that we desire in life. God always knows the deep and the most beautiful depths of the things that we truly desire that we don't even know, because it is the voice of our souls that whispers to God and tells him, God, these are the things that I want. When we're speaking in our prayer language, that is our soul communicating with the Holy Spirit, telling God, okay, God, this is what I need. This is where I want to be. And a lot of times, when we speak in tongues and we use our prayer language, in that moment, it is a connection between God and our inner selves, our inner, our true core of our souls that knows what we need that we cannot communicate in English. And we tell God those things in our prayer time and in our writing and different things that we do, to where when God says, give me control, it's not so that he can just show you, hey, I'm God, this is what I can do. But it is to truly give you what you desire. And God can do that. And I'm 26. It took me years to understand that God can give me more than I could ever give myself by having the joystick in my hand. At this time in my life, I don't want the joystick in my hand anymore. The joystick is, I'm like, look, take the dock, take the joystick, take the HDMI cord, take my book of games, I don't want it. Take it all. I don't want it. And, it's an honor getting to that point. And I want you guys to get there too. And a lot of times we can also carry control in the ways of armor. What armor do you wear? Do you wear the armor of pride, where your dignity and who you are is so important to you that you have to put on the armor of pride to be able to withstand people seeing the real you? Or you wear the armor of perfection because you don't want people to see the imperfection in you? Or you wear the armor of protection because you don't want people to see your vulnerability, You know, what armor do you wear? Really sit down and write that down. What armor do you wear that is a piece and part of the control that you need to relinquish? What armor do you need to remove, and what armor do you need to replace that with? Do you need to replace that with the helmet of salvation? The breastplate of righteousness, or the belt of truth, or the sword of the Spirit, to be able to combat these different types of control that you either know that you have or subconsciously have in your life. Start replacing that armor with the armor of the Spirit. Also, another question I want to ask is, what stones do you carry? Identify the stones that you carry. And these stones could be things that we carry as a mask, something to kind of mask the control that we feel that we have. So these are things that we have to get to be able to feel like we have control of our lives. For example, one of the stones that shouldn't be a stone but is, maybe it's a degree, a form of education that you needed to make yourself feel like you had purpose, like you were adequate enough. Or another stone could be your relationship. You use your relationship as a way to cover up the true healing that you may need, or you use that stone of a relationship to be able to feel like you have control of choosing the right person, because maybe your mom or your dad didn't choose the right person, etc. These are just different examples of stones. But identify what stones that you carry. Then I want you to take those stones and give them to God to carry. Because in a way, that is also relinquishing control. And it takes time. These are things that you really have to go and write down, really sit with yourself, because I had to sit down and sit with myself and identify these things, because it really starts to dig at the core of the garden that is within, that was within myself, and the garden that is also within you. And then I had to go in, I had to identify, what was I standing on? A lot of times we can carry the past with us for years, and things that we've gotten through that are supposed to be a testimony, that are supposed to be something that, we tell as a learning curve so that someone else doesn't have to go through it. But a lot of times it can also be a way of us having control of a situation that maybe we did not have control in. And, for us, maybe that could be abuse, maybe that could be neglect, maybe that could be an abortion, or a failed relationship that we desired so badly that we didn't get to keep. And instead of those being milestones for us to be able to move on and be able to tell our testimony on, we are standing on them, but we start to stand on them as a limitation from us moving forward. Those things begin to keep us from the new promises that God has for us, because we continue to stand on these things in this way to feel as if we have control. So we carry that story over and over again after God has delivered us, after God has excelled us further and pushed us further, and instead of using it as a testimony, it's a crutch, and we stand on it in a way that when God brings us a new thing, we're too scared to step into it because of what we've been through. And this is also a type of control that we have to relinquish. So what are you standing on? Write that down. What are you standing on? Really identify. I had to identify, what am I standing on? I know a big one for me, I was standing on failed relationships. Things that were taken away from me that I thought would be in my life forever, and having to relinquish that control, give it to God and say, you know what, I'm not standing on this anymore. It's going to be a testimony for me because God is pouring and excelling me further in different ways to where I won't let that be a crutch to the new things that God has for me. Because I can easily say, okay, God, I'm scared. I don't want, a new thing because I've been through so much. I've always lost what I had loved. And so me figuring out and identifying what that was and then choosing to step off of that and give it to God and relinquish my joystick that I had, it has allowed me to feel free in a way that I have never in my life felt free before. All because I finally figured out how to relinquish control and in what ways I needed to relinquish it. And it's not talked about enough. And we all deal with it. It's just nobody teaches us how to get rid of it and how to relinquish the control, So I encourage you to go and identify, and I'll go back, identify the armor that you wear that is keeping you from relinquishing control. Identify the stones that you carry that are preventing you from relinquishing control. Identify what you are standing on that keeps you from relinquishing control. And when you identify those things, and when you finally reveal to yourself what those things are, you will now be able to move into what God has for you freely, without looking back, without second guessing, and feeling free in a way that you have never felt free before. God says in Proverbs 19:21, it really reminded me that it says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And a lot of times if you feel out of control, it's because you are, but you couldn't be in better hands. And Proverbs 16:3-4 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. And this is not an overnight thing. This is not something that, of course, the enemy is going to try us. Of course, the enemy is going to come and combat you and remind you of the control that it took you so long to relinquish. But remember who your Father is. Remember who carried you. Remember who continues to carry you. Remember who drives in the driver's seat for you at times when you can't keep your eyes open. Relinquishing control like this is the first step. God being able to move in the supernatural ways that we have desired and prayed for. But a lot of times he needs our permission. Not because he needs it, but because he is a gentleman and is patient and is kind and will never rush you. And I'm telling you, it took me years. And he has been so patient. And so I'm so grateful and so blessed to be at this moment in my life now. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to that moment in your life where you can finally say, I have no control. And I am completely fine and happy with that. And I can't be more grateful. I can't wait until y'all can get to that place too. So I love you guys. I hope this blessed you. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again. I have so much more coming for you guys this season. And I hope you have enjoyed. You have been listening to the Ellipsis Podcast with Deja Terry. Good night, guys.